Hello viewers, welcome to Alfo's e-learning classes. Today I am going to start my fourth session of second lesson, the natural realms of the earth, the social studies topic of 9th standard. So in this topic I am going to explain to you about what is the work done by the waves and work done by the wind, and how these two natural forces are going to create out different landforms. First, let me explain to you about the waves. What is a wave actually? What is a wave actually means? Wave is actually a disturbance caused on the surface of a liquid body. A disturbance caused on the surface of a liquid body, such as either it may be lake, sea, ocean, bay, etc., etc. And that disturbance will cause the water to move like in the form of a ridge, like that, a small ridge like that it will make. This formation, this disturbance which is caused on the floor of the water body is called as wave. Now, how these waves are going to form out different landforms, that topic I am going to explain to you. Right. These waves will move with a great speed. They will erode very good amount of material. They will, they will brought out all the sediments which were deposited out along with their movement. I will deposit somewhere else and forms of different landforms. Now what landforms will be formed by these sea waves are these following: sea cave, sea arches, stacks, sea cliff, cape, bay and beaches. These are the landforms. That is, because of erosion and transportation and deposition of the sediments by the sea waves, these following landforms will be caused. First, let me explain to you about the sea cave. What is meant by sea cave? Cave means all of you know that a hollow construction, a hollow item, that is called caves. Our great grand ancestors used to live out in caves. With that you will get very good idea about that. Right, then what is a sea cave? How the sea caves will be formed? And sea waves, when they will move with a great speed. With a great speed they will move and they will hit the rocks very quickly. We can say that very rapidly the sea waves will hit the rocks which are present in the mid-ocean rays, in the mid-sea areas. They will hit the rocks which are present in the middle of the seas or bays or oceans. With that, what will happen? Cracks will develop on that particular rocks. Cracks will develop on that particular rocks, and with that cracks, what happen? That particular rock will become brittle, weak, it will become brittle, and slowly and steadily the rock particles, small particles from that big rock, if the rock is very big like this, slowly and steadily the rock material started out eroding out small rock particles, and it forms out like a cave. That means this amount of the rock material will be eroded out. How it will be eroded out? Because of the action of the seawater, this material will be eroded out. In this way, a cave-like structure will be formed. And this cave-like structure formed by what? Sea waves. That's why this cave is called a sea cave. This is the first formation of the sea waves. Then afterwards, still continuously the sea waves will hit continuously, they will hit out this what is that cave-like structure. With this, slowly and steadily the material will be eroded out. That is, slowly and steadily this material, rock particles will erode out, and it forms like a arch-like structure, like this, like an arch. How do we construct on our gates, main gates? We will construct arches now and we will lay out bougainvilleas. That because this entire material will be eroded out by the sea waves, that cave will be transformed into arch-like structure. So this arch formation which was made out because of the sea waves called as sea arches. This is a second formation made out by the sea waves. So in this way, the sea waves will erode out the material and forms out arch-like structure, and these are called as sea arches. And after this also, sea waves will not take rest. They continuously move and they will hit this arch-like structure. Then with this, what will happen? Slowly and steadily, here also this matter will be, this material, rock material which is present, it will be weathered out, eroded out, and this roof of this arch will be break out into pieces, and just only this side walls will be left out. Only side walls will be left out. There will be no roof here at the top of the arch. So this sidewall like structures which are formed by breaking of the roof of this sea arch, that is called as stacks. That is only sidewalls they are. So in this way sea waves will form out these three structures. First one is cave. That is, sea waves will hit the material, the rock continuously, then the rock will brittle and the small rock materials will erode out and a hollow cave-like structure will be formed called as sea cave. Then again continuously the sea waves will hit that hollow cave-like structure like that only, and maximum rock material will erode out, weathers out. With this, that will form into a arch-like structure. Then afterwards that arch-like structure is called as sea arch. Then after that also sea waves continuously they will do their work by hitting out that arch, especially to the top roof of that particular arch. With this, the rock materials will erode out and weathered out from the top most, and the top will go off, that is floor, that is roof will go out. Then with this what will happen, there will be a break, only walls will be left over without any topmost layer, and that side walls they were called as stacks. Then the next landform which is formed out by the sea is called as sea cliff. Sea cliff. You might have visited many beaches which are present in our India. Take for example Meenukunnu beach, Kerala, Gokarna beach, Karnataka, Dayu beach, Gujarat. Like that you might have visited some beautiful beaches in our India. When we visit out that particular beach, we will find that is at the coast of that particular, at the shore of that particular sea area, bay area, that we will find a wall-like structure. A wall-like structure it will be with the rocks and steep slopes it will be, very steep slopes it consists of. So a proper definition if I want to define about the sea cliff is that the steepy rock wall-like structure which rises vertically above the sea level, above the sea water, called as sea cliff. But in easy words of my explanation, that is a structure of wall which is formed by the rocks and the layers will be very steep in slopes. And what is the speciality of this sea cliffs means, the visitors who will visit out that particular beaches, they can stand out on that particular beaches and they can view the beautiful scenario of that particular beaches in a very beautiful manner. In that way the cliffs are useful. That is about the cliff. Then afterwards, if this sea cliff still weathers out, erodes out, still the material will erodes out, it will leads to the formation of the two rough broken materials, that is uneven surfaces will be formed. Two uneven surfaces will be formed because of weathering, erosion of this sea cliff. They are cape and bay. Cape and bay. Cape is nothing but it is a high point of land that extends into the sea. A high land point from that sea cliff, it extends into the sea. That high point of land is called as cape. For example, for the cape is Cape of Good Hope. It is located in South Africa. And whereas bay is nothing but an inlet of the water where the land will takes like a curve. Take for example, if the water will be like this, if the water will be like this, and land will take like a curve around it. The land will take like a curve around it. Here the water is present. This inlet of the water around which the land is curved out, that is called as bay. So then after this, one more formation will be formed by the sea waves, that is beach. One of the most beautiful spots they are called as. How the beaches are formed? Right, the sea waves, when they are traveling out for many kilometers of distance, along with their flow, they will bring some sediments, like take for example some pebbles, some cobbles, some small rock particles, sand deposits, coral reefs, everything they will bring out along with their flow, and they deposit everything on their coast, and a piece of landform will be formed. So beach is nothing but the deposited landform which is formed by the sea deposition is called as beach. With that beaches will be formed. Best example, the Yarada beach, Ramakrishna beach, Gokarna beach, Marina beach. These are very good examples. How these beaches will help in order to improve our economy means, they are the most beautiful spots Like in my previous class, I have explained to you about how our waterfalls are useful. In the same manner, beaches also most beautified spots they are. That's why they will attract the maximum tourists from in and around the world also they will attract. With this, very good income government will get. If the foreigners will visit that particular spots, we will get income in the form of foreign exchange. So in such a manner, the beaches are useful to us. So these are the landforms which are formed because of the work of the waves. Right. My next topic is about work of wind. What is the wind is my question. Right. Air that is moving across the earth. Air that is moving across the earth is called as wind. This wind, it plays an important role, especially when we come to deserts. I think all of you know what is a desert. Desert is nothing but an open and large area which possesses the characteristics like very little amount of water will be there, scarcity of water will be there, and the next vegetation also will be very less. Such type of, and maximum covered with either sand or rocks, or we can say ice or snow, called as deserts. That is, for our human sustenance, they are not so much suitable, we can say that. So a specified area which are characterized with less amount of water and less amount of vegetation called as deserts. So this wind, it plays a dominant role, especially in such deserts only. 1/5 of the world consists of deserts only. Many deserts are there. Take for example to the northwest side of India, we have Thar desert. We will call it as a Great Indian Deserts. And Sahara desert in Africa, Atacama desert, Gobi desert. Like that, many deserts are there. 1/5 of the world's landforms is composed of these deserts only. So in this desert, this wind will work very high and it will create some landforms. What are that landforms? I will tell to you now. Right. First one is mushroom rock formation. So desert is an open area, that is vegetation, trees will be absent, they will not be present there. No, that's why the wind will move with a great speed. When the wind is moving with a great speed, what will happen? It will hit the big rocks. Big rocks will be present. Big rocks will present like this. The wind will move with a great speed. With this, what will happen? Maximum, the wind force will be applicable on this bottom part of the ring, this rock only, bottom part of this rock only, compared to this uppermost part. So continuously it will continuously it will hit out this rock and it's erode out the material, the rock material, small particles will be separated out from this rock and that erosion will take place. With this, what will happen? It will form like this. This rock will turn like this to this shape. That is, this bottom part will be eroded out because of the action of the wind, and the rock will transform like this in the form of a mushroom. That's why this formation of rock in the form of mushroom called as mushroom rock. How this rock is formed? Because of the action of the wind, it is formed out. Then next formation by the wind, that is called as Inselberg. Inselberg is nothing but an isolated means alone, it is only one, others will not be there, an isolated residual hills rising abruptly from the ground, that is rising suddenly out of the ground, they are called as Inselberg. How this Inselberg will be means, only this mountain will be there. How it will be means, the sides steep slopes will be there, and at the top the mountain will be in the form of rounds. The mountain will be there. And of course, the wind only will make this mountain like this, steep slopes, and forms rounds and rounds at the top of mountain. What is the speciality of this Inselberg means, around this mountain also huge amount of the rock material will present. But because of the wind action, everything will erode out, and in that particular piece of land, only this uprising mountain will stand. In an isolation manner, it stands. Why? Because what is the reason? When everything erodes out in the wind action, why this mountain, how it's sustained means, because it is erosion proof. It sustains too. That is, very slowly that erosion, that weathering process will take place. Because of that reason only, it will stand out like this only. This is formed because of action of wind only. Right? Completed. Then sand dunes. Sand dunes. This is a common feature which we will find in the deserts. In many of the movies also they will show the sand deserts. It is nothing but sand dunes are nothing but hills of sand like this will be formed in the deserts. Like this, wind in the desert, it will move with a great speed. No, it will blow with a great speed. So along with the flow, what the wind will do? It will take the sand and dust particles from one place and it will transfer to another place and it will deposit at some place. With that, this hill-like structures will be formed. How these hill-like structures are formed? By the sand only these hill-like structures are formed. So these hill-like structures which are formed in the deserts by the action of the wind are called as sand dunes. These are short-lived, only for some period. When again the wind will blows, again they will disappear. Again the new sand dunes will be formed out. They are short-lived. Right. Next formation of the landform by the wind is called as lowest plain. What is lowest plain means? The wind, it will carry the fine dust particles, it will carry along with this flow. Fine dust particle which is very, very fertile and which is yellowish in color. That fine dust particle which is very fertile, which is yellow in color, that along with its flow the wind will carry this particle and it will take behind the desert and it will deposit that particular fertile dust after the desert in the neighboring lands. And that soil is called as lowest soil. And the speciality of this lowest soil is it is very rich in lime and it is porous in nature, very, very fertile it will be. Let me say to you again, the wind, that is the fine dust particles which are blown by the wind and deposited behind the deserts, which are very fertile and which is very rich in lime, which is porous in nature, that is called as lowest soil. And the plain that is formed by this lowest soil is called as lowest plain. Here we should compare, we should take out a comparison between lowest plain and delta plains also. Okay, right. Then let us form a differentiation table. Delta already we have completed here. So let me take how this lowest plain, what are the similarities between lowest plain and the delta plain means? Both are formed because of erosion only. And both soils are very, very fertile. These are the similarities. Both are formed by erosion and deposition and both are very, very fertile plains. That are the similarities. Some differences are there. This lowest plain is formed, it is deposited behind the desert. In the neighboring lands, it is deposited out. Whereas delta, it is formed at the mouth of the sea. At the mouth of the sea, it is formed out. And this plain is formed by the action of the wind. Wind will form this plain. Whereas delta will be formed because of the action of the rivers, And it is also very fine soil, yellowish in color and very rich in lime and it is porous in nature. Whereas delta plain is, it is rich in alluvium and organic matter. Organic matter is present. Right? So these are the differences. This lowest plain also formed behind the desert in the neighboring lands, whereas delta plain is formed at the mouth of the river, it will be formed. So these are the differences between the lowest plain and the delta plains. Right. So let me brief out work of the wind. Because of the work, these are the landforms which are created. First, mushroom rock. That is, wind will blow with a great speed in the desert and they will hit the rocks, makes the rocks brittle. Maximum the wind force will be more on the lower portion of the rocks. With this, the lower portion of the rock will be eroded out and the rock will turn into a mushroom shape, and that formation of the rock into mushroom by the action of the wind is called as mushroom rock. Inselberg is nothing but in the deserts, when the wind is started eroding out everything, only one isolated residual hill which has been raised abruptly from the ground, it will stand like that only. That is, alone it will stand out. And this is because that erosion process is very slow here. Sand dunes means the hills of the sand which are formed by the action of the wind in the deserts are called as sand dunes. And lowest plain is nothing but the fine dust which is blown by the wind. and deposits behind the deserts, which is rich in lime and porous in nature, called as loess plain. So these are the 4 landforms formed by the action of the wind. Now next my question is about, here is one contemporary reflection issue is given us to discuss. In what way we the human beings are responsible for the desertification is the question. What is meant by desertification? First the question is, what is meant by desertification? It is nothing but making a beautiful land, a fertile land, into barren. Making a fertile land, turning a fertile land into a barren land like a desert is called as desertification. Now this contemporary issue, this problem we are facing now in and around the world also. In what ways we are responsible for this desertification? It is one of the contemporary question. So let me explain the topic to you. Right, first let me start from the agriculture only. Why? Because agriculture is the main occupation. India is an agro-based economy. Still now in this century also 60% of the people directly, indirectly depends upon agriculture only. So in the initial stages, when we take to our grandparents' arena, at that time people also did agriculture. They utilized land, air, water, everything, all the resources they utilized. They tilled out the land, produced out the grains. That was good. But their form of agriculture was traditional form. That is organic materials, manures, cow dung, like that materials they used out, and they have sown the seeds and they got the produce. But later on, whatever they produced, what happened as the population is increasing, that is they were unable to satisfy the food needs of the people. Then started the problem of starvation death, scarcity of the food, scarcity of food materials started, that lead to the starvation deaths in our country. Then the agro-scientists have come out with a new phenomenon in our agriculture, that is only called as a green revolution. Father of Indian green revolution is M.S. Swaminathan Garu. Now also he is alive. So according to the ideas of the great personalities, green revolution method started in our country. What is green revolution method? That is nothing but usage of hybrid varieties of seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, chemicals, better water management. And you know that hybrid seeds will give very good production. Then the green revolution started in our country in 1960. A revolution started in Indian agricultural scenario. That is, outdated agriculture methods were updated out. And with this, huge amount of land was brought under cultivation and hybrid seeds were used and the production was doubled and tripled also. Here we can say that a good development took place in the production of the food grains. That is, because of that increase in the food grain production, it started feeding millions of mouths of Indians. Here I am explaining this in context with India only. So millions of mouths of Indians were fed out. Okay, this is the symbol of development, of course. But at what bar we did produce this means, when we started using chemicals and fertilizers continuously, then with that what happened? Because of dumping of cages of chemicals, the soil, the fertile land started losing its original capacity of fertility. Original capacity it started losing. Do you know, according to the estimates of the geologists of our country, at present in our India, 30% of agricultural land has turned to barren. This is updated information. Barren, it turned to barren, like a desert. That means for the next generations, the social teacher like me may say that India do possess these many deserts. One is located in Rajasthan, Thar desert. One is present in Andhra Pradesh, Anantapur, like that. The social teacher might explain to your next generations. 30% of the agricultural land turned to barren. That means not at all useful. What we are giving to the next generations, what they will produce. In the name of development, we made that land from fertile to barren. This is a symbol of desertification. This is one symptom and we are responsible for this. And next one is, we the people, in the name of development, we are utilizing huge amount of water resources. Either for the sake of agriculture, for the sake of industries, for the sake of domestic purpose, what not. Water, which is an important component of our life, without which there is no life on the earth. That our ancestors also used, but up to limited extent. They used open wells. They used rope and pulleys, and they used water. But now what we are doing? We are drilling out the earth up to its great interiors, from up to a great depth we are drilling out, and we are drawing the water. In what manner? Unscientific manner we are exploiting this natural resource. And we are tilling out the land using industries, everything in all ways we are using it. With this, now at present in our India, hundreds of districts, they are facing the problem of water scarcity. Scarcity of water. 90% of Indians are not getting safe drinking water. Water is scarce, and whatever is available, that is polluted. Because we the people are inletting everything into nearby areas only, no? That's why it is happening. So, water scarcity. That's why we will see in every summer in the newspapers that is the depth increased and the groundwater levels are decreasing out. The women are walking for kilometers in order to carry out drinking water, like that we the people. And it is an example recently only to Chennai, in order to supply drinking water. A train has been started in order to supply water to Chennai. And 2-3 years back, if I am right, in Maharashtra also to Latur, one train was sent which carried out water, safe drinking water. So in such a manner we are transporting out even water. That's why buying and selling of the water also become a business in our country now. It is one of the profitable business. That means after 1 or 2 generations, what will happen? These whatever the limited resources are present, they will also exhaust out. It is a limited natural resource. Then what about the next generations? What do they drink? Think about it. This is one of the contemporary issue. Right. In this way, we are making water scarce, not available to the next generations. Then, mining. In the name of development, industries to generate this electricity, to run the machines, what not. We need industries, we need electricity. And we need some other products also to be produced. For that purpose, again we are depending upon environment only. And take for example, to take out the coal, we are digging out the mines up to interior layers, up to 3 kilometers we are digging out the mine, and we are taking out coal and some other mineral resources. With this, what happened? The internal layers of the earth will be disturbed. They will become faulty lines on the earth surface. Okay, after taking out that particular mineral, government is taking very good measures. It is filling out some material. But whatever it may be, it will not be natural formed method, no? It is an artificial method of formation. So the dumped material may not fix, may not be accumulated as the earth layers are before. So some loose layers will be formed out. Faulty lines will develop in the interior layers of the earth. In future, when any slight disturbance will occur in and around that particular area, the 2 faulty lines of that particular mine will collide like this, and it results into a boom that is called as earthquake. And earthquake, it is one of the destruction, all of you know, property will be destroyed, electricity lines will be disturbed, agriculture lands will be damaged, industries will collapse out, what not. Huge amount of destruction will take place. Again, who is responsible for this desertification? We the humans are responsible for this. Next, we are constructing out huge amount of very big projects we are constructing on the rivers. With that, what is happening? Heavy pressure is laying on the particular land geography. Take for example, some years back there was a huge floods in Uttarakhand. What is the main reason for this? According to the newspaper reports, it was saying that because of unscientific hydel power projects which was drilled out on river Ganga. That is, there the people died not because of the flood of the water, because of flood of sand there the people died. And in the long run, what will happen? The entire area will be desertified out. Like this, all the natural resources we are using to a maximum extent in an unscientific manner, and we are not saving them for the next generations because of our short-sighted attitude. So in this way, we are responsible for this desertification. Not only that, deforestation. One more example we can take that. In the name of construction of the skyscraper buildings for our living, or industries or roads, whatever it may be, deforestation. On one side, we are planting small saplings in the name of many concepts like Aritaharam and everything. But on the other side, what we are doing? In the name of development, we are uprooting out the trees, big trees, which takes for hundreds of years to grow to such a huge stage. But do you know that in many of the European countries already awareness started among the people, and they are not making out like this. If they have to cut a tree, they have to take permission from the court. But here it is not happening so. One department will plant out the saplings and one department will cut out the trees. That is, there is no coordination with that, and that is one part. And we the people also, we don't have any responsibility towards the maintenance of the saplings which were planted out by the government. We will not bother about that. And in the name of development, forests. I now present Uttarakhand. In the Uttarakhand forest, it is in huge bonfire. Australian desert also was attacked by the fire. What is this? Why it is happening? Because of the global warming which we created. Anthropogenic global warming. Deforestation. When deforestation takes place, automatically you know the simple logic that there will be no rainfall. If there is no rain, the soil will become barren, no food particles, starvation, deaths. That is, the ultimate result is the death of the human beings only. And again, who is responsible? The same answer we will get repeatedly, that is, we the human beings only. And overgrazing of animals also is one of the reasons according to the experts. In the village areas, hills will be present on which small plants and small shrubs, herbs will be there, and the grass will be there. Grass patches will be there. So, illiterate people are, I am not commenting anyone, because of due to illiteracy or ignorance or innocence, we can say that people let out the animals freely like that. They will graze out, they will pluck out each and every grass and small shrubs, everything from them. So with this, what will happen again? When it rains on the top, the summit of the hill, what will happen? Because of the absence, that is, the hills will become flat, clear, without any greenery, without any stoppage. When it rains on the top of that particular hill, the rain splashes, it moves with a great speed from the top of hill, and with that what will happen? In the foot hills of that particular hills, whatever the land is present out, and you know the topmost layer of the soil will be very, very fertile. Because of that splash of the rainwater, the topmost layer of the soil, which is very, very fertile, which was formed by the nature, hard work done by the nature, that will erode out and move to some low-lying area, and it will fill some basin, some river, some lake, some pond, something. Here two problems. One is the particular soil, it loses its fertility and it will turn to barren. And because of this erosion, that particular dam or reservoir, it loses its storage capacity also. Again, when the water is released in that particular dam or reservoir without taking out that silt, that leads to floods. Again, floods. It is an interconnection, all these are. Again, for this also, we are only responsible. And when we are constructing out buildings or roads, everything, we are giving much importance for the concrete constructions. With this, what is happening? We are not leaving out a piece of land also when it rains, so that the rainwater can be absorbed into underground layers of the water. That is, we are not recharging the underground layers of the water. With that also, we are responsible for the desertification. And what are the results of this? What is going to happen? With this, what will happen? Some areas will get floods. Some areas will get famines. Its impact will be on agriculture, and land will be desertified. Production will be decreased. Agriculture production will be decreased. There results to scarcity of food products, and that leads to starvation deaths. That is, all the bad impacts are going to be. Now the time has come to think about, actually, at least now, what measures can we take? What measures can we take in order to do some repair, something, in order to reduce this desertification? Why? Because we can't wipe out completely, because we spoiled it to a maximum, extreme extent. Now the time has come to think about at least a repair, so that our next generations may get something. Now here are some suggestions from my side. You think about on par with your side. First, in agriculture, instead of going with the chemicals and fertilizers, let us go with the organic farming. And next, crop rotation methods also suggestible for this. And we should save the water. That awareness must be generated among the people about how important the water is for us. Next, strict rules and regulations should be passed on par with the industries. that they don't have any right to spoil the atmosphere, air, water and everything. And next, awareness should be created among the village people and the farmers also about the new farming methods, that too in a biological method, in an organic manner. And next one is that industry should be take very much care, and when we are drilling out the mines, proper measures should be taken. It should be filled very properly. That means in future there should not lead to any earthquakes, and if from that faulty lines only again volcano will erupt. And you know about the volcano, when the lava will flows out, everything will burns out in its area. That problem will also occur. So in this way, there is a need to take some measures in order to reduce the desertification. Otherwise it will have very bad impacts. Right? So with this, the lesson came to conclusion. And in my next session, I am going to explain to you about improve your learning questions, and also the essential questions actually which you have to concentrate on par with the examination category. That is according to the standard wise, according to all the 6 academic standard: conceptual understanding, reading the text, reflection on contemporary issues, information skills, mapping skills, appreciation and sensitivity. According to that order, I am going to explain that particular questions to you. So don't miss that. I hope you have understand the lesson well, and thank you very much.